It is our pleasure to invite Mr. Sachin Pilot to join us on stage, member of the Rajasthan Legislative Assembly. A loud round of applause as we welcome Sir. Taking our conversation forward, we have senior journalist Ms. Kaveri Bamzai joining us. This session, like I said, titled Beyond Degrees, Notes from the Field. When we take a look at notes that are not just from a classroom, but from the field, I think this particular conversation is what our audience here and our virtual audience are also going to be looking forward to. Over to you, Kaveri.
So, a round of applause, I think, for one of our youngest and best-known politicians, and someone who stuck it out in a party that has not always been very welcoming to young leaders. So, congratulations. Can we have another round of applause for that? So, Sachin, I think the important thing to know is what does the youth cadre of the Congress look like? Because there was a time when Youth Congress was perhaps one of the most striking forces in the country. Not always for the good sometimes, but it was a cadre that the Congress could rely on. Could we say the same even now?
First of all, thank you very much for inviting me here, and thank you all for listening to me this morning. Going back to your first comment, you talked about the Congress party and young people, etc. If you look back in time, I think from the time of Rajiv Gandhi as Prime Minister, and then later on Manmohan Singh ji, and then Sonia Gandhi ji and Rahul Gandhi, you will notice that of all the political parties, there's a lot of rhetoric and a lot of talk about empowering young people, young leadership. But on the ground, to have actually given younger people the leadership roles of consequence, you have to look at the data. Don't look at what I'm saying. It is the Congress party that has been at the forefront of actually giving the power of the pen, the political power, the decision-making power to young people. And it's true, some people leave parties and go back, but I think the core thinking of the Congress party has been, right from lowering the age of the voting population to 18, is to actually think about what's going on. I'll give you an example. 2004, Mrs. Sonia Gandhi was Congress president, Vajpayee was prime minister. And she called in about 12, 15 of us young people from across the country. I was not a member of parliament. I was just a member of the Congress party. And she said, we are going in to make a manifesto against the Vajpayee government and what the country needs. What I want to know from you, I hear from my colleagues what's going on, economic and social, etc. But what really is going on in the minds of people in campuses, in universities, you are people who are in their early, mid-20s. I want you to travel across the country and from the Congress's point of view, give me some feedback on what is the thinking, what is the psychology, what is the expectations of the Congress party going into polls. 2003 sometime, I think this happened. So I'm trying to give you an indication and an insight of how the thinking in the party works. And at that time, a lot of us came to parliament for the first time. I was 26 when I was given a chance to contest. So the Congress, it's a very old party, but I can tell you the thinking there is how to empower, how to ignite, how to give leadership positions and challenges to young people. That continues. And youth, you talked about the youth today. There was a protest, as you know, at the AI Summit. Now, you may agree or disagree. And frankly speaking, if you like a protest, then it's not a protest, no. If you like what someone is doing, a protest is actually to oppose something. You look at, and the government says, oh, it is an international event, the country's image, etc. If you take a step back and look at any global event, a climate summit, a G20 summit, a G77 summit, across the world, globally, any large city, there have been protests. Sometimes not peaceful protests, but all those governments have actually restrained them, respected the protest, and carried on with the activity. But here to cry foul as if, some great challenge to our sovereignty has happened, that is wrong. So Youth Congress, 6 people wearing T-shirts. How are they challenging the country's security, first of all? And look at the way they've treated the president of the party. He wasn't even there. They put him in jail. some remand, some really serious charges. This is being done to give a message to any young person in this country that if you dare to oppose, however benign your protest must be, you will face this consequence. That, to my mind, is a very, very negative approach. To not allow dissent, to not accept differing views, to put the brute force of the state and put you in jail and demoralize you and subjugate your voice. Those things, I think, are not acceptable in a free, robust democracy like India.
There are two things.